2017 has been documented as one of the worst disaster seasons in the U.S. as 3 storms, Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria, wreaked havoc over a 6-week period. Collectively, these storms caused hundreds of billions of dollars in damage across the southeastern United States and the Caribbean, tragically taking lives and displacing countless others. In anticipation of any hurricane striking the U.S., the Salvation Army is equipped and ready to mobilize in order to serve those in need. On August 25th, Hurricane Harvey roared ashore near Port Aransas, Texas, packing winds of more than 130 miles per hour to the Lone Star State.
When the storm hit, the Salvation Army started immediately to feed people that were evacuating from their home. We fed over 950,000 meals since the hurricane started. We've continued to feed volunteers and people that have come in to help rebuild communities across the coastal region.
The worst of Harvey's destruction was still to come. Stalling over the Houston metropolitan area, originally swampland and therefore prone to serious flooding, Harvey dropped a record-breaking rainfall, as much as 60 inches in places, flooding roads, homes, businesses, and trapping people without hope. The Salvation Army responded quickly to the growing emergency. From the Texas South Coastal Bend to Houston and the northeastern communities of the Golden Triangle, the Salvation Army dispatched mobile feeding canteens and personnel to assist rescue workers and survivors.
On Monday morning, it was still raining and I was sitting downstairs, and then my son comes down. And so we loaded up the boat in his truck and we headed about 2.5 miles from our house and put the boat into the water in the middle of the street. It was so rewarding to be able to pull that boat up to the front door of somebody's house, open the front door and carry them out and put them in the boat literally at their front door. We saved a total of 47 people, and I think it was right at 14 or 15 dogs. You know, there's some things that you do in your life that you know once they've happened, you'll never forget it and you'll never be the same.
We're Majors Kent and Melody Davis, Houston Area Command, commanders for this great work that's going on. But we're so happy today because reinforcements keep coming in, the Salvation Army is moving, and are able to do great things in service for this community. We're excited today. Over 30 canteens are going back out into our community, doing great ministry. Just so fortunate and blessed that we have this opportunity that we can demonstrate the love of Jesus.
Created a shelter for people who were evacuating in our gym, and we immediately started feeding. We were in direct communication with the fire department and city management, making sure that we were prepared for anybody that might be coming our way. Our canteen was immediately prepared, and then within a week, we had sent a unit, a team down to assist down in Houston. And about a week later, I finally got the opportunity to go down to Texas City, Galveston area, and they had a warehouse set up and they were doing distribution. And we were able to jump right in and assist in that process. And still, you know, several weeks after the actual event, still such a huge need, and people coming every single day for just basic supplies, for water, for cleanup kits and diapers and formula and all those things that you don't really think about needing until you have a situation where so many things are taken away. So an incredible opportunity.
But even as Salvation Army teams from across the United States and Canada rallied to provide aid in Harvey's wake, the 2017 hurricane season was far from over. On August 30th, just 5 days after Harvey's landfall, Hurricane Irma churned her way north toward the Keys and mainland Florida.
I remember as we were responding, our Florida teams helping our neighbors in Texas for Hurricane Harvey. I remember the day when I heard Hurricane Irma is coming to Florida. And I remember sitting there thinking, how do I mobilize everything that we've pulled here, pull it back to Florida, while people still needed our resources in Texas? And I remember those moments of thinking, how do we do this? And The thing I'm very proud of in that response was how the Salvation Army came together to continue to help Houston while we relocated back to Florida to prepare and begin responding to help support people from Hurricane Irma.
Salvation Army teams were sent across the low-lying Florida landmass to Naples, Fort Myers, Miami, Sebring, Jacksonville, and the Florida Keys to provide relief in Irma's aftermath. More than 200 canteens were mobilized, with some units and personnel coming from as far away as Canada.
As soon as the sun rose, we had already pulled together a team of staff members who rode out the storm in our shelter, as well as shelter clients and residents. We began removing debris immediately, simultaneously with a chef who happened to be staying in our shelter, one of our program participants, doing a gourmet meal off the canteen behind our building. And so when we had biscuits and gravy served off the canteen, that was absolutely my favorite part of that first breakfast.
I just remember feeling that urgency to get out and to start mobilizing. I wanted to get out and I wanted to start helping to get staged so that we could help our community, to make sure that people had water and food. And so there was a great sense of relief that I was able to see them, and that in just a couple hours we were going to start the work.
Even as Irma steered back into the Atlantic, the Salvation Army continued to stand ready, providing comfort as Irma's path caused flooding in Georgia's coastal cities, including Savannah, Brunswick, and St. Mary's.
Our first response to Hurricane Irma was to bring out the canteen to do emergency services. It was inadequate, so we brought in more canteens from the Salvation Army's other resources throughout different states to respond to Camden County. In Camden County, we used Kingsland First Baptist Church as our incident command center. It was the perfect center for us because it had a fully functional commercial kitchen. It allowed us to use the resources of partnerships with other nonprofits to be able to feed the number of people we needed to feed each day.
The Salvation Army served more than 1.3 million meals, over 1 million snacks, 1.5 million drinks in Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Disaster workers distributed more than 60,000 food boxes, 20,000 cleanup kits, and countless other items to survivors in need. Salvation Army teams were privileged to provide emotional and spiritual counseling to more than 86,000 individuals. And in addition to Harvey and Irma, the Salvation Army in Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and across the Caribbean sacrificially provided care to tens of thousands of people impacted by the season's third major storm, Hurricane Maria. While our initial response to disasters is critical, the long-term recovery is far from over.
So here in Collier County, we've opened Disaster Assistance Center in Naples as well as Immokalee. We also have roving units that we can go out and do community outreach. We're able to take the gift and kind donations and go to an individual's home, complete the application. And while we're there, we're also able to see if there's other unmet needs that they may not have presented to us.
Several weeks into the disaster, we decided we needed a name for what we were doing here. We came up with Operation Lasting Hope, which kind of sums up everything we're doing here. It sums up the fact that there is hope. There is hope for the future. No matter what's happened to you during this disaster, we are there to help you, and we're there to help you in Jesus' name.
The Salvation Army's response to the 2017 hurricane season was the largest relief effort since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Like Katrina and all other catastrophic disasters, the Salvation Army is committed to immediate response, followed by long-term recovery, helping families and communities to rebuild. None of this would be possible without the support of our loyal donors and volunteers. So, thank you for supporting our mission and keeping the Salvation Army out helping those in need. Our hearts, our prayers go to all those who are still struggling in the aftermath of these storms, while our hands continue to reach out and provide aid and comfort. David tells us in Psalm 5, "Let all who take refuge in you be glad, Lord. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may rejoice in you. For surely, O Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield. God bless you, friends.